Right then, let's talk about reading a blank before you start. Right then, one of the questions I get asked quite a bit is, how do I decide what I'm going to do with a bowl, what shape I'm going to make it, that kind of stuff. Right? And an awful lot of that has to do with reading the blank before you even start. Right? I've touched on this in a couple of videos, but I'm actually going to go through it in this one, just at the start, because it's a question I've been asked a lot. And this is actually a good blank to do it with, which is why I'm doing it in this one. Okay, what I have is a Tigerwood blank that is 16 by 3, right? Now, you can see there that I have sapwood, and heartwood. Now, just, okay, you have to imagine this bit, right? That's solid there, right? That those slants aren't in it, right? Now, if I use this as the top of the bowl, right, if I look at the side here, what I'm going to end up with is, right, the bowl coming down that way through that sapwood, which means I'm going to end up with a lot of white. Whereas if I do it that way, right, with this side as the top of the bowl, right, I'm going to come down that way, and I'm going to end up with less of the sapwood, less of the white. Right? And you can see the way the growth rings are going in this. They're going that way. The growth rings are going to be basically upside down, and it's going to give you more stripes than just plain dark wood. Right? You can see it a bit clearer on that side, right? If I go that way, right, I'm going to go with the growth rings, which is going to give me not much striping but a plain surface. Whereas if I go that way, I'm going through all the stripes, and it's going to give me a very striped surface. Now with this one, because it's well balanced, which is the way I cut the blank, right, there's a lot of white on both sides, I'm going to go, this is the top of the bowl, because I want to get a lot of white in this one with a plain dark in the middle. Right, now I've another couple of blanks here to show you the rough theory behind this. Right, here is a 17 3/4 Tigerwood, right? In this one, right, whatever way I got the wood, I didn't get a chance to balance it, right? There's a lot of white on one side, and there's none at all on the other. Now the choices in this one are make the bowl smaller to get rid of that white completely and just have a dark bowl, or leave the white on, use this as the top of the bowl, right? You can see it there, the way the white comes, right? It's going that way. It's because this is cut from the edge of the tree. And I'll get dark with one white side, which is the way I'm going to do that. Right. Here's a smaller blank. This one is a 9 by 3 tiger, and it is plain tiger all the way through. Right. So with this one, it doesn't really matter which end I use as the top, because if I use that as the top, I'm going to go with the grain, I'm going to go with the rings there and against them there. So no matter what way I do this, it's going to still be stripy. Right? And then I have this one, which is a Tiger 9 by 4 that's going to need a lot of resin work in it. Right? Again, the choice is which end do I do it, because there is a tiny little piece of white just there. Right. When I fill this with resin, if I leave that white in, is the bowl going to be too busy? Is there going to be too many colours in it? Whereas if I use that as the top, there's only going to be dark wood and resin. Personally, I think if I leave that little bit of white in, it could clash with the resin colour, because of very dark and very light. It's very hard to put a resin in that matches both. So what I'll end up doing with this bowl is I will actually use that as the top of the bowl, because coming down through there, well, it actually depends on how deep that is. You see, because if I'm going to fill this with resin, I want to be able to see it, right? So I'll have to really think about this one before I do it, because if I use that as the top of the bowl, that resin piece in there is going to be taken out of it completely, right? I'll still have this one on the side and that one there, right? But that one will be taken out of it completely. So what I could do is I'll work out what resin will go with both the dark and the light, and then I will use this as the top probably on this, because I don't want to put a coloured resin in there and then just cut it all away. It's a complete waste. Right, so we'll throw this on and we'll get on with this. So I'll be back in a sec. Right now, we have this blank in, held on a faceplate. Just going to do it normal. I'm going to round it off, flatten it off here, and then we get to work on it. Nice and clean. So a couple of saw marks there, but that'll come out. Right, and we flatten it off and we get to work on it. And there's a slight crack in there, so we need to fill that. There's a few there, but hopefully that'll cut out because of the shape. Right, the shape I'm doing is a Japanese Hiragata bowl. Right, now I did one of these before, but I did a straight-sided one. Right, Hiragata basically means flat shape. Right, that's what a Hiragata bowl is. It's a flat-shaped bowl, and you can do them straight-sided or curved sided. This one I'm doing as a curved side, so that I can show off the difference between the white and the dark wood, because I think it'll look better. So as usual with the bone dry wood, I'm going to use a mortise. Right, there's the mortise cut. Now I want a foot on this, so I'm going to use the rule of thirds. Right, I've been asked to explain the rule of thirds a bit better, so I'm going to do this, right, and the reasons why we do it. Right, the rule of thirds, right. Let's put this up for a second. There's the centre, right. Now, the rule of thirds is a third of the way from there to the edge of the bowl. This bowl is, at the moment, it's 8 inches. So a third of 8 inches is round about 2.5, 2 3/4 inches. Right, it doesn't have to be exact. Right, so I'm going to go on 2 3/4 inches, which is there. Right, now the reasons we do this, right, where we use a third, aesthetically it looks better, but one of the main reasons is the leverage on the bowl. Right, basically the fulcrum point of the bowl, think of it as a lever. The fulcrum point of the bowl is there. excuse me. Right, the fulcrum point of the bowl is there, right? Which means that if I put something, when the bowl is, this is the base of the bowl, remember, when the bowl is standing up, if I put something here on the edge, it shouldn't be heavy enough to make that bowl tilt, right? To make the bowl go from there to there, right? To make it tilt like that. And a third of the way out, unless you put something really heavy out here on the edge, works so that the bowl won't tilt over, right? If I did it in there maybe and just use a tiny little foot, it would definitely tilt. So that's why we use thirds. Right, so oh, excuse me, I might have to put a mask on for this one, it's a bit dusty. Right, so basically I'm going to cut the foot there. Right, this one's a bit dusty, so I'm going to stick a mask on. Alright, with that I'll keep sneezing all the way through the video. So I'll stick this mask on and be back in a sec. Right then, I have a mask on. Now, as I said, I'm going to do a Hiragata bowl. If you haven't seen the one that I did with the flat side, I'll leave a link up there for it. So I think it's up there. Right, and I'll leave a link below. Right. Now the thing with a Hiragata bowl, a Japanese bowl, is it has a solid foot on it. It has a square foot on it. So I won't be scooping the edge of that foot to make it look nicer. Right, there's a slight crack there, slight crack there. Right, they're going to have to be filled. Right. Now we get on with shaping it. What I'm looking for is a smooth curve from there to out there. Just one, but not so that it forms a full circle. The full circle will be way out here somewhere. So we get on with this. Right, I'll knock out the corner, same as usual, so I can put the tool rest where I want it to be. Now I'm probably going to shape this an awful lot with a pull cut, just so we can make sure of that curve. The whole thing with this is that curve. So put the tool rest slightly for a pull. Let me start cutting. Not too worried about quality of cuts or anything. All I'm doing is hogging away. Now I've got a bit of it done. I'm going to get my actual depth of the bowl by cutting into that foot. Square out the foot again. Now we continue the shape. A little bit closer. And now remember, what I'm looking for is a straight curve from there to there. Right, now that I'm in there, I'm going to go to a push cut to really start hogging wood out.
an edge on this again. Right, now I was asked a question, just popped into my head there, how often should you sharpen? And what I will actually do is I will quote Mike Wolf on this. If you think you need to sharpen, you need to sharpen. Right, let's have a look at that. Yeah, we're getting that flat single curved shape. Right, I just need to take that bit off. And it's either going slightly flat there, so we'll need to pull cut that and then match the whole lot in. Very gently match that curve in at the base. And then take the rest of it out. Nearly there. So one more should do it. There isn't much left there at all. We'll go from here. There we go. Right. And there we have the solid foot and the curve coming from the foot all the way out to the edge in one swoop. Now you can see what I was talking about when I was talking about reading the blank, that you have a lot of white, the dark, a lot of white, the dark. If I had done it the other way, there wouldn't be as much white in this bowl at all. But I was after the balance. Now what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have the CA in there, that correct there, before I do anything else. So I'll take it off, I'll CA in there, and then all I'm going to do is sand it, and I'll be back for the Yorkshire grip bit, which is back to being having a bit of fun about Ireland. So I'll see you in a minute. Right then, just jumping back quickly for a second. While the standing sailor is drying, I'm just going to go and have a cup of tea while that's drying. I'm going to have a cup of tea in my cool new mug. Isn't that cool? Right. One of my subscribers sent it to me, and he sent a really cool t-shirt as well. It's Niall over at NJK Orchardwood. He does loads of stuff like this. Right, I'll leave a link to his website down below. So this is really cool, Niall. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. Actually very well done too. Right, so I'm going to have a go and have a cup of tea out of this while this is drying, and I'll be back in a sec with the Oscar grip bit. Okay, this week's Yorkshire grip bit. As I said, we're going back to having a bit of crack about Ireland.
Right, now, one of the things that when people come over to Ireland, they find really confusing is Irish names. Especially if they see them written down. Right, now I know there's a few videos out doing this about Irish names. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the proper pronunciation, but I'm also going to give you what the name means. Right, so as I said, this one's just a bit of crack, really. Okay, we'll start out with this one. It's pronounced Quiva. Yes, there's no V in it, but it's pronounced Quiva, and it means dear, as in a dear person, or noble. Right? An awful lot of Irish names have to do with saying something nice about someone, or nature, or believe it or not, fighting. Right? Okay, we go on to this one. Niv. Again, no V, but it means bright or radiant. Now this one really messes with people's head. It's pronounced Sive. Right? You don't say the D, and yet again, there's no V. And it means sweet or goodness. And you'll find there's an awful lot of stranger Irish girls' names than there is boys' names. Right. And this one can mess with your head as well. It's pronounced Maeve. Yet again, no V. In the Irish language, a V phonetically can be made with a BH or an MH. And then we'll go on to Cleana, right, which means shapely. And then there's Blonid, right, which means flower. The Irish word for flower is blaw. And Blonid will be the name version of that. Right. Then we'll go on to Una, which a lot of people are used to saying as Uana, but it's the Irish way of saying it, and it means lamb, as in a baby sheep. Right. Now here's one of the boys' ones, and this is one that messes with people's head again. Tig. Right. And it means poet. And here's one that will be good for a wood turner, actually. Owen. And this is how it's spelled in Irish. Right. And it means born of yew, as in a yew tree, or youth. Right. Here's one that a lot of people around the world probably know because of Saoirse Ronan. Saoirse. It means freedom. And this one is Siobhan. Right. Anytime you see a little line above an Irish letter, it's called a fada. Right? And it means make the letter longer. Fada means long. I can't remember if I said what that means. It means God is gracious. It's actually a 14th century name. Now, this one can be used for both a boy or a girl. It's Nullag. Right? For a boy, it's Noel. For a girl, it's Noel. In English. Right? But the Irish one is Nullag. And it means born on Christmas. Right. Next one is Eve. English version would be EVE, of course. But in Irish, it's AIOBH, and it means radiant. And the last one, which I've heard pronounced wrong quite a bit, it's not soil. Remember I told you about the fodder? Make the letter longer. It's Sheila. Right? And it means musical. Right? So it's just something that really messes with people's heads when they come to Ireland. About if they see something, a name written down, and it's nothing like they thought it would be. As I said, just a bit of crack. And a little bit extra from other people who've done that one. Tell you what the names mean. Anyway, just buffing the wax off. As I said, that Yorkshire group bit was just a bit of crack, and it's something that does actually confuse people when they come over here, when they see stuff written down, especially names. But I thought it'd be a bit of fun to go through them and actually give out the meanings of them and what they actually mean. Right then, let's have a look at this. Oh, that is pretty. You can really see the white balance that I was talking about earlier on. And I've got a lot more white in that than I would have. And then you can see the Tigerwood striping here and here, but it's not too dark. It's because it was right at the edge of the tree that the rings weren't cut straight through, like. But that is nice. Right, we'll take it off, flip it over, and get the hollow one. So, back in a sec.
Right then, we've got to flip over. First thing we're going to do, of course, is level off this side. And we get going with hollow one. Right, this side what width I want it. Big angle in it, so about there. Now we got a hollow on it. Slightly low. That's better. Right, there's something causing a knock. I can't see it. I can't see what it is. See the tool marks there? There's something causing a bounce. And it could be a transition between, see that transition there where it goes from sap to heart to sap. It could be that. I don't know, but I'm going to have to sand this. I'm going to have to do this one at 80 because that's what the crack just there. I have to redo this edge as well because there's a slight little crack in it. There's a chip out of the edge. So I'm going to have to redo that, recut that edge. I don't like doing this late in the bowl. Because even with a piece of wood this dry, it moves. Yeah, that got the chip out anyway. Right, no it didn't, it's still there. don't like really going back to the edge of a bowl when it's just cut. Yeah, that got it. Right. Now I'm going to sand that and finish it, and I'll be back when I'm wiping the wax off. So, back in a minute.
And just buffing the wax off. Turned out quite nice. The balance on the inside is really nice. When I stop it, you'll see what I meant about reading a blank and deciding on what way to cut it. You see the balance is very good on the inside of this one. There you go, and it's the inside of it. The white balance there is really nice. I like that. Right, I'll take it off and give us a better look at it. So, back in a sec. Right, and there we have it. A Japanese style curved Hiragata bowl. That is really nicely balanced. So I'll stick up some stills of this one at the end, and I'll keep forgetting to do it. Apologies, I'll do it with this one. Right, and if you enjoyed that one, if you wouldn't mind, click like on the video, and I'll see you in the next one.